In today's news, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force agencies monitor light risk in ongoing homicide probe. Minister vows better pay, training, and tools for healthcare staff. FRASER calls for funding, tech, and awareness amid rising risk. First workshop tackles smart housing choices and financial decisions. We have the details of these and much more when 284 News returns.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out that trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I huff. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Monday, May 19th, 2025. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Thank you so much for joining us, and a happy Monday is wished to all. The Royal Virgin Islands Police Force held a press briefing to address recent firearm-related crimes and provided an update on ongoing investigations, particularly the case involving a long-standing fugitive operating under multiple aliases. Rapid efforts are underway to capture wanted criminal Trinidadian Small Brent for the murder of Nyron Erickson, and the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force said they have reason to believe that Small Brent may attempt to flee the territory by sea. Now, police in a news release last Saturday stated that they are continuing efforts to locate and arrest John Emmanuel, also known as Brent Danglade or Small Brent. Officers are therefore appealing the public to assist them in these efforts, and residents with visibility of coastal areas from their homes are advised to monitor for unusual small vessel activity. The Royal Virgin Islands Police Force emphasized that boaters, mariners, and individuals working or living near jetties, docks, or mooring locations should immediately report suspicious behavior or events to the police. Police continue to stress that anyone found aiding and abetting the suspect will face severe criminal penalties. Now, members of the public with any information on his whereabouts are urged to contact the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force Intelligent Unit at 368-9339 or 800-8477. You may also call the emergency line at 911 or the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force non-emergency number at 311. Now, meanwhile, police are still trying to determine how John Emmanuel Small Brent was able to get into the territory. During a press release and press conference last Friday, Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police Kenrick Davis said that some of the information about Emmanuel is not known to the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force until certain measures were explored. He is also said to be wanted in his homeland of Trinidad and Tobago. However, Davis was not able to say indefinitely that is the case.
But suffice it to say that we're still exploring several lines of inquiry to determine exactly how he came into the territory. That said, you would have seen from the bulletin that he has 2 different identities, and we've been able to determine that both identities are current in the sense that he has current identification / travel documents with 2 different names and which he could use to travel. So I will commit to providing a further update as to how he came into the territory, but standing here today, I'm unable to say definitively how. We took the decision to send this to the public very quickly. For one, we're looking at an investigation, but also there is a prevailing threat, we believe, to the community. So when we sent out what we had then, it was a calculated measure to ensure that the public is not exposed, and that as RVIPF, we're doing everything to preserve life, preserve the peace. Since that has occurred, we've had more photographs, more information, and our press officer has been attending to that to send those out to the public. For instance, you will receive shortly, I'm sure, photographs showing tattoos on his skin, also some defining and outstanding features about his heirs and so on, which could be of help to the public in helping us to get this person into custody. Because that is the goal here. We want to ensure that the public engages with us and assists us to have him arrested.
Now, due to the active nature of the investigation, officials were limited on details, of course, but assured the public that updates would follow once information is verified. The issue is potential for raising concerns during the session, prompting, of course, firearm reassurances from law enforcement.
I cannot speak to any known intelligence or information about reprisals. What we are preparing for is any sort of gun violence, any sort. Be it reprisal, be it otherwise. We are about ensuring that we're doing all we can, working with the community to reduce the chance of any residual gun violence from that matter or any other form of violence from any other firearm matters that we're investigating.
Superintendent Rock confirmed the force is prepared to handle any retaliatory violence or unrest, stating that the situation is being monitored very closely. Concerns were also expressed regarding the flight risk of the suspect and how Border Control is responding to prevent escape or unauthorized entry.
And a number of things, and you would have seen some of it in the publication we made yesterday, where we've said to the public, take the keys out of your cars, lock your doors, secure your small seagoing vessels. And that was done deliberately to reduce the chance that those properties, those modes of transportation could be used to facilitate what you just described. Aside from that, we did say earlier that we've taken a stakeholder approach to this, where this is not just the RVIPF responding to this issue. We've engaged the synergies from all the other law enforcement agencies present in the BVI and also regional partners in the USVI, the National Crime Agency from the UK, who has regional presence as well. In fact, everybody. The Marine Police, Superintendent Buckley, who's here, is in charge of the Marine Police. He's engaged that. We've repurposed some of our staff who would not ordinarily work in some departments to ensure that the vulnerabilities that you point to could be mitigated. So there's a fair bit going on. Can we do more? We're always thinking about that. In every meeting that we've had, we've thought of that. And just to say that every day, including today when we're finished here, we have a meeting to ask the same questions of ourselves that you just asked, to see what more could we do, who are the additional stakeholders that we could pull on board.
Health and Social Development Minister, the Honorable Vincent O. Wheatley, has praised the territory's nurses for their unwavering dedication, calling them the heartbeat of the healthcare system. Speaking at a ceremony hosted by the BVI Health Services Authority during Nurses Week 2025, Wheatley acknowledged the vital role nurses play across hospitals, clinics, home care, and assisted living facilities, stating, and I quote, "Whether at birth, during illness, or life's final moments, nurses are there, offering care, comfort, and hope." He continued by saying, behind every life saved and patient restored, there is a nurse making the difference. Wheatley also emphasized the link between nursing and national development, stressing the need to invest in the profession to ensure a sustainable and resilient health system. He also shared updates on the nearly completed revised alliance agreement between the National Health Insurance and the BVI HSA, which promises new payment models, improved quality standards, and greater transparency. Nurses Week is celebrated globally from May 6th to the 12th, ending on the birthday of Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing. Up next, complaints about beach chairs, taking some ideal spaces, and much more. We have the details of this coming right up.
My name's Henry Bosch. I work for PPG. I'm here to explain to you the use of the Deltron NXT paint line and EnviroBase High Performance, one being solvent-borne and the next being waterborne. The difference is that one is totally manufactured with rosins and thinners and all the good stuff that solvents bring versus our new technology, which is waterborne, which is 100% latex. What we're gonna do is that we reduce the solvent-borne with a DT885, which is a mid-temp reducer, and the waterborne uses T494, which is a waterborne reducer. We will today be using either DCU 2042, which is a speed clear, or we will be using DCU 2021, which is a classic. We have here our equipment. We have 8-ounce measuring cups, and we also have our 32-ounce mixing cup. We will also have with us our Venturi. This is a blower for us to dry the waterborne paint, which speeds up the process. The good thing about waterborne paint is that as soon as it evaporates, you're good to go. So now Gilligan will dilute the waterborne paint with the waterborne reducer. We made 8 ounces, that would be 1.6 ounce. It always has to be properly mixed until we get an even mixture within the paint mixing cup. So when we spray, we don't see uneven coats of color. So right now we're filling our paint gun with 8 ounces of diluted paint. We're gonna see how far 8 ounces will take us. Waterborne paint seems to look blotchy on your first coat. Don't pay no mind to that. Don't try to achieve full coverage on your first spray. Excellent, let it dry. So the process in waterborne is 2 even coats, and then we have what we call a dust coat. Well, now we're gonna have Mr. Brown apply the first coat of clear on his waterborne panel. We'll let it flash off, and then he'll come back and coat it with his second coat to finish it off. As you had seen in the previous shots, we had a little blotchiness, and you'll see some patches. That's all due on purpose to sandpaper to prove that with EnviroBase High Performance, all technicians, the body work has to end at 800 grit or plus. Well, EnviroBase is like, we're trying to shift everyone into that slowly but surely. The entire west coast of the United States and all of Canada has already been on waterborne for the past 10 years. And now soon it'll be the eastern seaboard, which covers the Caribbean. So when that happens, we'll all be affected. So it's best to start now, start trying and applying waterborne, because eventually everyone will be on it. And referring to technicians, it's less harmful because it doesn't have all the toxic chemicals that solvent-borne paints do.
Just give me my service. Yeah. Just give me my service.
Just give me my service.
Make the switch to CCT and get connected today. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Visit any CCT store or call us at 444-4444. CCT, Life Unlimited.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Moving right along, amid growing concern over the increasing intensity of natural disasters, the Honorable Julian Fraser is urging residents of the Virgin Islands to take proactive steps against climate change, despite the territory's small geographic size. During a live segment on Virgin Islands Voice, Fraser emphasized that while the Virgin Islands emissions may seem minimal in comparison to global contributions, the impact of climate change knows no border.
We need money to deal with the environmental issues that we have, from drainage to you name it, everything that happens around you. Okay, we talk about emissions. When you breathe out carbon dioxide, that's a greenhouse gas. Methane is a greenhouse gas. When you burn anything outside, that's greenhouse gas being emitted. And what greenhouse gases does, it creates the greenhouse effect. And yes, we are what we do here in the Virgin Islands, we are so small, it's a drop in the bucket to what takes place in the world. But what takes place in the world affects us. And we have to be mindful and conscious of the things that we do and try to avoid doing these many different things that contribute to the greenhouse effect. Those hurricanes that we're having, we learn from other countries that have the same, under the same circumstances, like Grenada. They had the hurricane recently. Of course, we had Marilyn and Irma. Not Marilyn, that was Maria. Yeah. We had those two hurricanes. I don't think that anywhere in the Caribbean matches what we had. But we were able to sustain it better than most other countries would have. We weren't prepared. But if we were prepared, we would have suffered less damage than we did.
FRASER highlighted the need for funding and legislative preparation, pointing to the proposed Climate Change Trust Fund set for introduction this November.
Right now, the ministry is responsible for town and country planning. That has a lot to play, a lot of role to play in the strength of our buildings, warning people to be prepared for the upcoming hurricanes. And I think that we're in a good place. We're going to launch the Climate Change Trust Fund, as I say, in November at COP30. We do have the fund set up. The fund has a board, and I should be bringing that paper to cabinet in a few days, weeks premiere, to reestablish the board. They are working, but they are not legally mandated as yet. So we're serious about this whole climate change issue. We're serious about the environment. We have a bill being prepared for the environment. In that bill should be all encompassing. All the matters that we see around us that's impacted by that impact the environment. Talk about the cruise ships and the emissions that's coming from there. It should be in the bill. We talk about silt runoff when people do construction and it rains and you see the ocean turns brown. That should be in there. So we're looking seriously at addressing the issues that confront us with the climate, and hope we have enough time to do it.
On Tuesday, May 20th, 1st District Representative, the Honorable Dr. Carl Dawson, and his committee will officially launch a new community-focused initiative, a 3-part workshop series titled, and I quote, "Your Future, Your Plan, Building the Life You Want," designed primarily for younger individuals at key decision-making stages in their life. The series is open to all members of the public who wish to make informed, impactful life choices. The first workshop in the series is Planning for Your Home. Will take place on Tuesday, May 20th from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the West End Community Center. Now, attendees will benefit from practical guidance on topics such as buying versus building a home, choosing architects and contractors, managing construction relationships, and making wise project financing decisions. Now, several experienced professionals from the 1st District in fields related to housing, construction, banking, real estate, and much more will serve as the facilitators and resource persons offering valuable insights and real-world advice. The series will continue with 2 more workshops, that is Planning for Your Finances, June of 2025, Planning for Your Health, July 2025. Interested individuals are encouraged to register by calling the district office at 441-9100. The Honorable Carl Dawson expressed his enthusiasm for the series, stating, and I quote, "The decisions we make today can significantly shape our future. I believe these sessions will equip participants with the knowledge and confidence to make choices that positively alter the trajectory of their lives." As representative, he said, "It is our duty to improve lives beyond the usual scope of our roles." Up next, Prison Basketball League concludes at the HM Prison with an exciting round of games. We have this and much more coming right up.
Life is unpredictable, and when a storm is coming, having a plan can make all the difference.
We need a plan in case of a hurricane. Everyone, let's work together on this.
This is where we go in case if we need to evacuate. This is safe away from flood zones.
I will use this room as our secure space if we have to stay home.
Don't forget to save our local contacts and also our off-island contacts.
Right. And we need to have a plan for our pets too. They can't go to shelters, so we need a safe place for them.
In case we get separated, we should have a meeting spot. How about the community center?
That's good. And we can leave a note there too.
I feel safe knowing we have a plan.
With a plan, you're not just preparing for the worst, you're taking control of the situation. A message from the Department of Disaster Management and 284 Media.
Rashford made it. Manchester United have come from behind to lead.
At home or on the go, watch CCT Live. Download our app and carry your favorite TV shows, news, or live sports anywhere you go. Visit cctbvi.com/live, select your package, and tune in.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for sticking with us. As the BVI tourism product continues to grow, some persons are capitalizing on providing amenities on the different beaches, such as beach chairs. But as this happens, it is creating a challenge where some local persons are complaining that these chairs are taking up spaces on some of the most ideal beach spots, and some persons are being denied access to these chairs unless they patronize the establishment. Now, this issue was put to the Deputy Premier and Minister responsible for Natural Resources and Climate Change, the Honorable Julian Fraser, RA, on the government's Virgin Islands Voice program last week. And on another issue, Minister Fraser is also encouraging local persons to get involved in the villa rental business.
Are we going to come to a society where we might have to pay for the beach? There are places where persons own land on the seabed and make I don't know of any, but this is what the question is, making it difficult to access beach. I know that we had some issues like that right there in Jamaica and some of our closer neighboring islands, as we are now having challenges with even sitting on the beach. And Deputy Premier is telling me that the policy is that they should take up the chairs and put them down, but it still behooves to, when are the locals able to sit? Can we sit in a chair? Can we sit in a chair if we don't buy a drink?
Well, I'll leave that to the Deputy Premier, considering that's his portfolio.
Deputy Premier, the folks want to know, do I have to buy a drink to sit in a chair from the place that I was born and raised to enjoy our natural resources that you are over? Deputy Premier?
Actually, the chairs belong to the establishment owner, and you can't sit. I don't think you can just go and sit in his chair. It'll be a fight on the beach.
Correct. So that is a person's concern. So, what do you say about that?
So no, you can't. I can't see how you can sit in a person's chair. I can't see that happening. But if you're talking about inadequate space on the beach for you to walk and for recreation purposes, if those chairs are an obstruction to you, then we need to know this. I don't think that the people who put the chairs out has any title to that space that they're using. I think it's still public space. But when it comes to sitting in a chair, that's a different story. Maybe you could stand in front of the guy who's sitting in the chair. He can't move you. And don't go do it because I said so. I don't want to hear about it tomorrow. But this whole thing about villas premier and people, I think that industry is a culture. And we need to find a way to introduce that culture to our people.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the culture that you were born with, the one that you went for festival and all that. I'm talking about this business culture itself. Yes. From where I sit, I see a lot of non-belonging land holding licenses being issued. We can't issue them fast enough. And it's for that purpose. And if it's a non-belonging land holding license, it means that it's a person who's not from here and you're from here. You can get into that business yourself. And it doesn't seem as if there's some special something special that you have to do to get into it. You just need to understand the culture, get into it, deal with the banks, get the money to build your villas, and there you go.
Premier Dr. The Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley also chimed in where he said it's something they must educate the public on.
Persons may not understand how lucrative this business is in terms of villas. You know, you might have some villas that might go for about $10,000 a night. And this is
Fact.
a villa.
Fact.
Yeah, and there are many persons making money from these villas. You know, some wealthy persons who come down to the Virgin Islands and build their home, and then when they're not in the home, they rent it out when they're not there. And then, I've had the occasion to be able to visit some of these homes. And it's not anything that our wonderful construction persons can't do. A lot of our construction persons are building these types of homes. In fact, I don't find some of them particularly large. Nothing which is beyond our people. This is something that we can do and participate in. And of course, depending on the area, we know the Virgin Islands, so many places you have wonderful views of the sea.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have wonderful views of the sea. You have places which are tucked in to the wonderful, green areas. I went, Deputy Premier, I went to Ballast Bay.
Yeah.
Of course, when Mrs. Stout made 100 years old.
Uh-huh.
And I looked at how beautiful that particular area was.
Yes.
And I said, oh man, the Virgin Islands is a beautiful place. You kind of get some area that's kind of closed off to traffic and things like that. You build some nice villas there and you can make a pretty penny. You can make a pretty penny.
The Prison Basketball League, a transformative initiative hosted by His Majesty's Prison, officially came to a close this week, with Team Echo claiming the championship title. In a competitive final game, Echo triumphed over Team Charlie with a final score 52-39, while Team Bravo secured third place earlier in the day by defeating Charlie Remand 47-37. Now, the league, held in partnership with the BVI Amateur Basketball Association, is part of His Majesty's Prison's ongoing efforts to promote rehabilitation through structured and constructive programs that focuses on personal development, teamwork, and discipline. LaCoy Hughes was named Most Valuable Player of the season, also earning the title for most rebounds. Rudy Vancepool distinguished himself by recording the most points secured in the league. Superintendent of Prison, Mr. J. Kendall, praised the initiative and expressed gratitude to the staff and partners who made the event possible, stating, and I quote, "The success of this basketball league reflects our commitment to creating meaningful and progressive rehabilitation opportunities within our facility. Sports provides an outlet for structure, teamwork, and emotional regulation, all vital components of personal development." He continued by saying, "I'm incredibly proud of the men who participated and showed resilience, sportsmanship, and determination throughout the tournament." The superintendent added, and I quote, "I must also extend heartfelt thanks to my dedicated team of officers who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to organize the games, ensure safety, and support the players every step of the way. I'd also like to thank Right Way Supermarket and One Mart Supermarket for sponsoring the league, as it shows rehabilitation is a community effort." Meanwhile, Minister for Health and Social Development, the Honorable Vincent O. Wheatley, applauded the initiative as a vital step toward building stronger rehabilitation models. Honorable Wheatley said, and I quote, "Rehabilitation must go beyond confinement. It should challenge, inspire, and uplift. This basketball league represents a progressive and human-centered approach to rehabilitation that gives inmates a sense of purpose as well as helps them develop critical life skills. I commend," he said, "the leadership of His Majesty's Prison for thinking outside the box, and I also thank the BVI Amateur Basketball Association for their partnership and mentorship. Programs like this remind us," he said, "that true transformation is possible when we invest in people, even those who are too often forgotten." That is it for today's News Roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at 284media.com, as well as to like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI, on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. Happy Monday. Goodbye.